Funcub plane right now. I'm going to go ahead and do a paint job on it. A lot of people ask what's the best way to paint a foamy. Well, the best way that I've found to paint a foamy is to use a product by Minwax called polyacrylic. It's pretty well known, I think, throughout the RC community, but it works great. What it does, as we know, the propellants are what eat the foam on planes, and so you don't want to use anything with unless it's foam safe, any type of propellant, unless it's foam safe. Unless you put on polyacrylic. I did 2 coats, just painted it on. It's clear. What it does, it strengthens the foam. You get a lot less bending out of the wings. Gives it a nice, clear, shiny gloss, as you can see there. And it fills in any imperfections in your foam that you naturally will probably have. So what I'm going to do is, once you do that, you allow it to dry for... it dries pretty quick. Overnight, you'll have it dry. Also, what I did too, this might be a tip for people out there with a Funcub or with any foamy for that matter, is you want to strengthen up this cowl. If you do just a couple small little nose dives, or if you use a much more powerful engine than what the specs call for, you want to strengthen up the cowl. What I did on the inside was put in some fiberglass fabric around the edges, and then put some of the did epoxy up top here, 15-minute epoxy, and then on the bottom I did some more fiberglass tape. And instead of epoxy, which you only got 10 minutes or 12 minutes to work with it, it dries quick, it's heavy. What I found works excellent instead of epoxy is, once again, this polyacrylic. You could paint it on there. It's more like it's a water base, so it's more of a liquid form to work with, and you get down in there in the crevices when you paint it on with your brush. Paint it on the fiberglass, put it in there, slop it all in there, let it dry, and it just stiffens the heck out of it. So that's a good tip for that, which will cause you to not have vibration. A lot of people get vibration up here over time if they did a couple even small nose dives, or if they have a really powerful engine up front. So stiffen that up. Anyways, what I'm using as paint is Rust-Oleum fluorescent. For what I like, I want to be fluorescent on the edge of the wings here, and then what I'm going to do is use Rust-Oleum Ultra Coat. Again, I'm going to do deep blue gloss. You can get this at any hardware store. I pay $3.87 a can, okay, for 12 ounces, as opposed to that expensive foam safe stuff that's very expensive and, in my opinion, not quite as good as doing it this way, because you're having that extra shell here. When you do foam safe paint, you naturally won't have that extra shell. You won't need to do that because your paint is foam safe, but doing that really strengthens up your foam. Anyways, but what I'm first going to do is a whole base coat of gloss white. That will fill in any imperfections once again and give you a nice base for your colors to go on. What I recommend also is do the bottom of the wing a completely different color, something that stands out, the bottom of the plane as well, so that you can, for orientation reasons. And a lot of people, especially if you're new to the sport, will do the top of the plane one color, maybe with some different colors on the edge of the wings for orientation, and then a different color on the bottom of the plane. But what they forget is that's just top orientation, bottom orientation. You got to remember also left or right orientation. So what I'm going to do is stripes just on one edge of the wing. So it's going to be all fluorescent bottom, so I'll know it's the bottom. And then I'm just going to do black stripes on the right side, so I'll know, okay, I'm looking at the bottom right side. And that works really well, in my opinion. This is my first build, learning a lot, so we'll see what happens. Alright, I'll let you see how it looks when it's finished.